Hey, 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 Dr. Minesha here. Super excited to be able to welcome you to the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. I am always excited when I have the opportunity to get some of the best leaders in the planet. And I don't say that lightly. You are in for a treat. The energy is through the roof already. If you had one of those days where you just want to laugh and feel light and feel
Mm.
like life is not that serious, then you want to turn the volume up on today, okay? Because we have Jill in the lounge. Welcome,
Woo!
welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I feel like we're already rolling so high vibes. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
it's good. It's
absolutely.
good.
It's in the air. It's in the air,
Mhm.
Jill.
It's such a joy
And
to talk to you. It really is.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for bringing your beautiful energy and your presence and your high frequency in the
Thank you.
space.
Thank
I'm
you.
really looking forward to the conversation today. Before we get started, I just want to do some little housekeeping and remind those who have joined us for some time that this is your opportunity to lean in with love and curiosity. No matter what is said, this is a space for faith, for leadership, for legacy insight, to have a space to be free, to express, to share with love and integrity, and to move the needle on thought leadership in a way where everybody's not so sensitive and getting offended. That instead we're leaning into the resistance, leaning into the things that don't feel comfortable, and letting that be the growth place for us. It's like getting on the edge of yourself, right? And really trusting that there's something there underneath that resistance, and not assuming that that something there is negative. Like, what if it's there to serve you? I'm saying what if lightly. I know it is, right? And too often we just like shy away from uncomfortable conversations and anything that creates disharmony and anything that's not familiar to us and anything that doesn't feel fuzzy. Well, I'm here to tell you that life isn't always fuzzy. Okay. And I can be direct like this because Jill is going to come with all the positivity and happiness. So I just want to start leveling out, creating that harmony here with some real talk because that's what this podcast is all about. It's about real conversations with real people who are living real lives outside of their accomplishments and their achievements. So, with that being said, I want to introduce Jill to the lounge and I want you to open up by introducing yourself. I want you not to shy back. I want you to tell us all the incredible things that you've been able to achieve in your lifetime and what success looks and feels like for you and how you've been able to do that so well. You've already written multiple books. I can't wait. You sent me my book already. I'm looking forward to doing that. I just love the way you show up in this world. It's so fun, playful,
Thank
and
you.
light.
Thank
Yes, we
you.
need a dose of Jill in our life.
I so appreciate that. It is such an honor to be here because when I saw other episodes of this podcast, I thought I have got to talk to her. I
Yeah.
I have done an interview or two before, but your positivity and your generosity in spreading this kind of message, gospel, whatever you want to call it, is so needed right now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I
I
don't
mean,
know. Do we start at the
tell
lemonade
me about
stand in
you. Tell
kindergarten?
me
Where do we start? Yeah. uh,
a little bit. Bring us up a
uh,
little bit.
all right,
Not
a
no shadow
little
work
bit
here.
further along. Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah,
little
yeah.
further. Let's
Uh,
adult phase.
I love that you asked all about my successes. I want to start off by saying I am a serial entrepreneur who has started 5 businesses at this point. And I
Mm,
am full of failures. So I don't want
mm,
this to be told in a way where everybody listening goes, well, that's just good for her.
right,
Because
right.
that's often how entrepreneurs talk. Like, and then I had this success, and then I had this
Mhm.
success. No. But I decided to start my very first company in 2005. I manage bands. I sent them out on tour. I did their booking. I did their
So you
publicity.
did 5 businesses in a matter of 2 years? Are you kidding
No,
me?
that was my first
Oh,
business in 2005.
2005. Okay, I 25.
You know
25. Okay,
what?
that's the neurodivergent
Honestly,
brain of
though,
life.
if you challenge me, I probably could at this point do 5 businesses in 2 years. I love starting businesses, but I
Mm,
did my very first one that was music business related. 2 years into it, I sort of smelled the roses? That's not the
mm,
right metaphor, but I figured out I wasn't gonna make a lot of money. Like, in the
mm,
I was brand new to running a business, I didn't know what I was doing. So
mm,
2 years in, I continued to manage bands, but I started a baby jewelry business. I imported
mm,
jewelry from another country, I started selling it online, and I learned very quickly I don't love selling products. I wanna talk to people.
mm,
So I started a 3rd business because I got pregnant with my
mm,
baby, and I said, "I don't understand how people run businesses and have babies in a home
mm,
office at the same time."
Let's talk
So
about it.
ugh, I invited I just put an ad on meetup.com and said, "If you have a business and a baby, please come tell me how you're doing it because I don't know how to
Mm,
survive." I thought there were going to be 3 or 4 people who showed up to this very self-serving
mm,
coffee. There were about 20 people who walked through the door that day, and that's what my face did, what your face is doing. I
wow,
went, "What? It's not just me?" So we
wow,
all decided to meet up monthly, and about 6 months in, I realized this is bigger than anything I've ever done before.
wow.
So I started my 3rd business, where I helped mom entrepreneurs to build their businesses, and I did that
Uh,
for about 13 years, and I wrote several books throughout. And I was doing a lot of coaching throughout that
mhm,
time to help entrepreneurs build their businesses, get better at marketing, at sales, at branding. And I realized I am doing very much one-to-many work and I am burning
mhm.
out. I don't want to
Yeah, oh,
do
yeah,
that. I want to go
yeah,
deep with people.
yeah.
So I sold the biz in 2023 and I went full time. And now I am a
Wow.
full-time business coach helping people make more money.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love that. So
Very
one
long,
of the things
convoluted story.
one of the well, you know what? It really had this thread to it though. That's what I love when I listen.
Love that you know that. What is the thread you
Yeah.
hear?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I really love about just the way in which you moved is that from business to business, it was like you were moving based off of your pleasure being your gauge. I love
100%.
that. You weren't thinking about the
100%.
metrics, the money, it was like truly, do I love this? Like, nah, let's keep moving. And I believe that that is such a powerful and mature gauge because I
Mm.
feel like society has put a lot of weight around money. And so we end up stuck in these roles that pay well, but it sucks the pleasure out of our
It
life,
really does, and
you
I
know?
love that you picked up on that because that became sort of, the thing that I wanted to impart to every entrepreneur I ever met was that business does not have to be boring. We don't have to talk about it in low voices, very seriously. Like it's a place of joy, of creation, of understanding who you are and giving that to the
Oh,
world.
yeah, definitely understanding who you are. If you
Which is
don't
a
know,
journey. Which is a
oh,
journey in and
yeah.
of itself.
My gosh. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
just think
I
about
I
that though, Jill, when you think about the 5 businesses and you
yeah,
not only think about it from the point of the type of business it was, and you reflect back, and this is for those of you who are listening now, when you look at just the seasons of life, that business also represented a mirror of you and where you were in that life, like that, in that
100%.
space. Because when you
Yes.
were first telling me like band and music and then you shifted to jewelry, my mom was just like, wonder what
Yeah, yeah.
triggered that interest. And so it's all about that where you are in that stage. Do you recall how you ended up like
I wanna say I was always informed about what I wanted to go do. I would know I don't love what I'm doing or it's not making a lot of money, and it wasn't that I was setting out to make millions. I wasn't even setting
right.
out to make 6 figures. I just wanted to
Mhm.
pay some bills.
Yeah, yeah.
I figured out as I knew money wasn't coming in when all your bands that you manage go into the studio at the same time, you're not making any money. So I thought I need something else. And at the time, I had had my firstborn, and she had received a pair of sterling silver anklets from some family I have in Thailand that you
Mm.
slide onto babies' ankles and you can hear wherever they toddle or roll or when they wake up. It's very cute. I got so many compliments that I thought, "Oh, there's something here. People love this, they're interested in it. Let me try to turn the knob up on that." So I did, and there's a real fun story in there where I was so good at publicity from my first business that I applied it to a product in my second business,
Mm.
ended up getting Gwen Stefani a pair of these that she put on her then baby that ended up in People magazine, and it's a whole
What
story.
in the
Yeah.
world?
Yeah.
But Jesus, are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
serious?
And even with that roller coaster ride of sales, I was like, "I don't wanna do this anymore. This is not giving me joy. This is so much fun to say and to show people I got a celeb to put it on her kiddo." None of that really mattered to me because I think what you picked up is this thread that I love, which is if I'm
Mm.
not happy in my day, nobody is happy around me.
Mhm.
So I jumped ship on that pretty quickly, and I sold
I
that
love it.
business in uh, uh, t 2008,
Well,
2009.
listen, I'm gonna just really challenge those who are listening to this conversation to do what Jill did because this is a huge leadership lesson that I can't just skate by. And I want you to take a
Okay.
moment and just like a honest pause, and I want you to feel the way your life feels right now in this moment, and really make that courageous decision that Jill made to say, "Is this pleasurable? Is my role pleasurable? Is my schedule pleasurable? Are my tasks pleasurable?" And we know that we're adults. All of our tasks aren't going to be pleasurable, but there are definitely ways in which we can rework the work so that it feels more pleasurable. I mean, hands
Mm.
down, there's systems, there's resources, there's all types of things now that you don't have to like sign up for pain and struggle for the dollar. 'Cause that's essentially what we're doing,
You
right?
can, it's gonna
Yeah,
suck.
absolutely, and it's
It's
sucking.
mm,
Let's just be real. How many
yeah.
people more people that aren't living in a pleasure state that are, because we don't a lot of people don't realize. I know for me, I didn't even realize it could exist. I thought that hard work and business, like you said, I business is about, just being professional. I'm like, what is professional? Like there was just so
Yes.
many like cultural standards that were placed on us. And that's why if you follow me and if it's your first time, you were gonna hear this till the cows come home, and that is I'm so big on understanding your own principles, standards, and value for that reason. Because if you're not clear on your own principles and standards and values, then you are going to literally fall victim. And victim may seem like a let me try another word. You're going to fall prey to, you know, upholding everybody else's standards. Mom, dad, pastor, colleague, boss, big sister, whoever it looks like in your life, that's what happens when you don't have the standard. And so the business that you have now, you first of all, what was really impressive is that you sold the business. So a lot of times when entrepreneurs go in business, they don't build it in the onset so that it's attractive to sell. They just stop doing it and they get nothing from it. And so I love that your mindset was already like living, building with the end in mind, you know.
Was it though? I don't think it
What
was, to be
was it?
perfectly
Did it just
honest.
did it just happen? Did you just stumble into it or
I've sold 2 at this point. One was the baby jewelry business, one was the community for mom entrepreneurs. For the business, I mean, when I tell you I hated selling products, I hated it so much that I literally just slowly stopped selling them.
mm,
And when I was explaining to somebody who was more experienced than me, "You know what? I'm just giving it a rest. I don't love it." They
mhm,
said, "Why don't you sell it?" And I said,
mm.
"It's not saleable. I am no longer selling anything. I'm not doing any brand building
Wow, you saw
anymore."
that as a selling of a product still. Like, no, I don't want to sell it.
I fought it, and they said, "Somebody will buy it." And so
Mm,
I started digging around and posting things online. There was a website called bizbuysell.com. I don't even know if that exists anymore, but that's where I met a woman in California who was looking for a
what?
business. She loved it. It was a very fast transaction. I did a lot of prep to sell
Okay.
it, and I needed none of the prep. So that was business sale number 1, so I was not thinking about selling it. For
Wow.
business number 2, I definitely had it in mind a bit more because 'cause I'd already done it. Yeah, and it was also not the way I think professionals would talk about the best way to sell a business.
Yeah.
But I tend to not care about that because, again, I'm looking for the joy. So I think I waited too long, to be honest. I was
Mm,
13 years in and very, very burned out on doing the same things over and over and over again.
mm.
So I knew somebody else needs to take this over. I had a choice between going the very professional broker route and finding a seller and going through lots of paperwork and lots of conversations, or finding a woman I knew really well who had a larger community than me and
Mhm.
selling it to her. And
Wow.
that's what I did. Yeah.
Well, the thing that really stuck out to me is just the power of relationships. I mean,
100%. Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
this is the work ultimately, you all, that we do is that peace-driven leadership is about creating infrastructure that gives you relational capacity at the end of the day. And the
Mm,
reason why is because when it comes to building legacy, nothing really beats relationships, because people continue the message at a rippling effect. A house, although it's great and it's a good asset to have, it stays still in one place and it has a lot of different moving pieces, and you have to wait several years before you get your full profit. A person, you invest in them, whether it be in a business model that allows you to leverage the efforts of other people, or however you do, like you said, creating an asset and selling it to a person that you have a relationship with. Those are just the fastest, most pleasurable ways I have found to to create wealth, you know?
right.
And
Right.
so I love that you were just like this unconventional approach to your success. It's been pretty.
Very unconventional. That's an understatement.
Are you a
Yeah. But
rebel, Jill? Were you born a rebel? Like you think about when you were a kid, were you just naturally like, I'm not going that way?
I think so. Yeah.
You
Which
want me to
is
go
weird
here?
to
You want me to
say
go
because
right? I'm going left.
I don't see that as rebellion. I see it as I risk is not hard for me to take, and I see the world the other way where, like, why is everyone else not doing what they wanna do or where they wanna
Mm,
go, or why are they not taking charge of the future they would desire? So I
mm,
think it's a combo of, yes, I was kinda born that way, but I'm also very much a future planner in a way where I'm not sitting and typing out no
mhm,
Excel spreadsheets for me. But
mhm.
I definitely think long term, where do I wanna be? Who do I wanna be? What do I want to be doing?
Yeah. That's
So
all.
it's yeah, I guess that the lack of risk averse that I have in me has really helped me go like, "Okay, I didn't love that business. I know I can do another one.
Yeah, let's bounce
Okay,
back.
I can sell this one last minute even though there are no sales for a lot less than I probably would have gotten. But
Yeah.
that's okay because 'cause I'll just move on and I can start something else."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the resilience. I love that.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
And seeing failure as feedback, not a setback.
Always only, and I have been told the statement you've heard a million times, "Failure is not an option, then, of course, you're gonna succeed."
Right.
I think I don't like it for some reason, that expression, but I think I live that way. If you don't look at it
Mm,
as failure, if failure's not possible, it's just gonna be a very expensive learning
my
lesson
gosh.
sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
And
No
we've all
one,
had those, but
man.
yeah.
I mean, that just hit really, really hard because, I like to be transparent on these calls, but I'm
Love that.
reading the book now about The Road Less Stupid. I don't know if you've heard
I
of
don't
that.
know it.
Yeah.
I love the title.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But when
Yeah.
you've made a stupid decision, it doesn't feel that good, but you're like, "Yeah, that's me. Let me get that."
I think
Let
it's
me
all built on if we were to tell my journey honestly, it would all just be mistakes, and for
Yeah,
some people, all fails.
yeah,
I don't carry it that way, I don't feel that way,
yeah.
and in fact, if none of that had happened, I would not be where I am
And
now.
that is so true. And I believe that 1,000%. It's one of those things, like, it's that moment as a kid where in your head, that when mom puts the witch hazel over the sore, it's gonna
Yeah.
help, you know? It
Right.
still
Right.
stings
Yes.
though, it still stings,
Yes,
like,
it
but
still
your mind
does.
knows that this is helping me and this is healing me and this is good. So it's like that counterintuitive, just
Very much so.
oxymoron type of thing
Yeah.
that happens in our brain, but you're absolutely right. Once you get over
Yeah.
that part, you truly do understand that everything that we're experiencing is not happening to us, it's happening for us. And that is
Amen.
one of my core, beliefs as well. So let me ask you, your work is around helping women entrepreneurs,
Well,
right?
I help everybody now, but I did that
Okay,
for
so
a
you're open, so you
very long
specialize.
time.
Okay, so now you're
Yeah.
open. And the
Yeah.
reason why I think that this is so powerful, and I would love to hear your thoughts around this, is that a lot of our listeners are corporate professionals, leaders of leaders, who turned entrepreneur. Maybe they started working part time and then they ended up moving full time. But the key is, I want every corporate professional, especially, to lean in and listen and to constantly keep this idea of what life could be like if they were a corporate professional and, right, not having to leave one and do the other, but really starting out just being able to start doing it. I feel like it's an exceptional retirement plan. I believe that this country work it's too behind when they start thinking about it. Yes, I know the corporations have retirement classes that you take and they do these, but it doesn't really hit home. It still feels informational. I would love to see implementation starting much earlier on in the retirement and the continuity of leadership within the corporate space. But I believe it would be a game changer if we started creating this spirit of entrepreneurship earlier on in corporate when they still have predictable income. They still have a lot of the stability that the corporate world brings. That's phenomenal. And then they leverage the AI and the human support and professional help and people who've been out there, done that, and did that and partner that. That right there is a recipe for quantum leap type of success so that
Yes.
you can reach that point where you're like, you know what, my business is done so well while I'm working this job. It's doing so well. um can I sell it so that can be added to my retirement and do something different, so that way when you're retiring you're not losing your soul because you put your whole identity
Yeah.
around this company. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So let me ask you, do you have or had any corporate experience, or you just went out the gate as an entrepreneur?
It sounds like I went out the gate, but no, I had several years of corporate experience in New York City working for a major record label. I did that, I want to say it was 3 years total. I loved it. I was actually a
Hmm.
big fan of working in corporate.
Ah.
I think the only reason I opted out was because I knew very early on, again, I'm a planner. I knew I wanted to be in a home office for my babies. And at the time, the pandemic hadn't happened yet. And so we all were still going out. There was no Zoom. So it was
Yeah.
a different time. So I knew, okay, I need to start something on my own. But I will say, for the amount of corporate clients I currently have, there is no differentiation between traditionally people like to think entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs, corporate or corporate, and it's two separate camps. And most of my corporate clients are not even interested in leaving. They
Yeah.
just want to develop an entrepreneurial spirit, as you
Yeah.
said, mindset,
Yeah.
where they can stay as creative as humanly possible within their role,
Yeah.
which only helps them, only helps the company, has them feel more supported in taking the risks they'd like to take. If it's
Yeah.
asking for a raise, if it's going and moving from one position to another, if it's, I mean, talk about leadership.
Yeah.
You need to have an entrepreneurial mindset to know really how to fundamentally manage people. Because
Yeah.
it's,
I love the way you said that.
oh,
And I really
thanks.
believe that it is a mindset shift that will create such a a culture shift in a company when you have people that are leading in that way. Like, I am owning my role, that I am, you know what I mean? Like, I am my own business, my brand, my business. I am the brand. I am the asset, and I have, HR and internally, and I have the PR internally, these accountability and like literally seeing yourself and your brand as the business is what I believe embodying this entrepreneurial spirit looks like. And I absolutely agree because you have people who have been working corporate over 20 years and they want to do the full stretch, and that is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I tend to shy away from messages that are like, you need to get off your job and working for this person need to, but there
I
are
mean, you
people
get
who
to do what you wanna go do.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I just want
Yeah.
our world to really become more emotional intelligent by allowing people and trusting that people are mature enough and equipped enough to know what is best for them. Because God has given us this divine knowing. We are
Yeah.
already equipped, like biologically, to know. Like decisions are made in our body first, biologically. And so, like, we literally are equipped to know. It's just that we lived in a culture for so long that has trained us to live by other people's rules.
I
You
actually
know?
think, you're so correct, and I don't think the corporate folks realize how much more freedom and flexibility they have within their job to go and test out entrepreneurial things, styles, ways of being, ways of doing, because there are teams supporting them. There are different departments. When you're
Yeah.
an entrepreneur running your own company, you are all the departments, and it is a headache and a half. So
Mhm.
when I work with corporate folks, it's nice for them to remember, like I get to delegate these things to different people. I
Mhm.
have enough space to be creative in my lane, and
Mhm.
there is a world of creativity you can do within that.
Mm.
That I also, just like you, wish that we could just hand out like candy to people in corporate because they just don't realize you're the opposite of stuck. There's so
Yes.
much opportunity, there's money behind you, there's support behind you.
Yes.
Go do big
Literally.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That I love that narrative so much because it's
Yay!
not enough, and I really do. I believe that there needs to be more global conversations around this truth.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we're doing with the app is I Lead, We Rise. For those who are first time listening to us, this app is designed to create that security that the corporation creates, but doing it in a way where you have specialized partners, business owners like Jill, who know their stuff, has had years of experience, who can point you with vetted professionals if you desire to build your business. Like you want to have a part time thing, you want to be able to create your gift, you want to write that book. That can be a business itself. You want to, whatever it is you want to do, you don't have to figure that part out on your own. Because I know that in the corporate space, projects like that are different. They're separate from your projects with the company. And I'm saying that they can commingle. They don't have to commingle is a very it's not a term that entrepreneurs want to want to say because you don't want to
Yeah,
commingle. You're thinking about funds,
yeah,
but they
right.
can cohabitate. Let me say that, not
Yes,
commingle.
yes.
Commingle is like IRS. No, no commingling.
That's
Cohabitate,
hilarious.
right?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
compartmentalize, harmonize. Two truths can be the same with the right support. You can still be a phenomenal, leader in the corporate space who's creating amazing culture and really, showing up in a new evolved and doing that leadership work. And then also you can slowly build this business of your dreams in a way, like you said, that it doesn't have to feel pressured because unlike entrepreneurs out here who have to hunt what we eat because it's our only source of income, you don't have that. You can literally pace yourself and create and be more creative. And that allows you to be more creative and to be more innovative and to make very practical decisions because they don't have to be rushed because you don't need those funds to pay bills. Right. So you really are in an amazing sweet spot. Truly.
Amazing. Although
Yeah.
I do wanna point out, because as you're talking, I'm hearing people going, "Well, but how do you do that?" And I wanna say I am the first person who tried to do that. That being, inspire myself to have an entrepreneurial mindset. I tried to do that by myself for about 15 years. And it
Mm,
took me 15 years too long to realize you can't really do it successfully by yourself.
yeah.
So, anybody listening, I would encourage you go talk to people, go
Download
take
the
this
app.
conversation, download the app. Yes, and ask for help. Ask other people how you can get to do what you wanna go do, because
Yeah.
there's no faster, better, more efficient way, and it does not mean there is weakness.
Mm.
I say as I was somebody who carried that for a really long time.
Mhm.
No weakness
What do you
necessary.
think that comes from? I know high achieving, high earners, that's who we attract in this community. And so oftentimes that is a big deception. And I love that
It is very, very American, I notice, because a lot of people in other countries are not as I mean, our whole culture here is independence. There's literally a day for it. Uh, but I think we are all very hard on ourselves, and we
yeah.
all tend to carry some shame about the thing you didn't learn, a lot of which I do a lot of work around money with people because they carry a lot of shame about it, so you're not supposed to ask questions because you should know already. So there's
Mhm. You should
it's fear of admitting to you, like, I don't
know it.
know."
Yeah, like having
Yeah,
to know
yeah.
everything.
That's
That is
hard.
so good. It is. And that's
Yeah.
why I love these sacred conversations because it really gives leaders of leaders the safety to not know, to just be
You don't
in their
have to
truth.
know,
Yeah, and
and it
it's
doesn't mean
okay.
you're an idiot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The smartest
Yeah.
people I know that work in corporate, a actually anywhere, ask all the questions, but not coming from a place of, "Well, I'm such an idiot. Can you help me figure out?" But instead, just curiosity.
Intuitiveness. Yeah, like,
Yeah, just,
hey.
"How does this
Mhm.
work?" I have not had experience with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I love
Hmm.
that. It
I
takes a
love that there's an app for that.
yes, there is an app for that.
I love
And,
that.
the cool thing about the app, you all, is that it is, an opportunity for you to be able to get back in the driver's seat of your own life. And so a lot of times we make decisions because subconsciously we are just attaching ourselves and moving in this like robotic motion of other people's things that they've told us over our lifetime and we don't even realize it. So with the app, what it does first is that it allows you to have like this white canvas to start fresh and to really get clear in your vision again about what is truly you, like the whole healed version, the healing version, the, you know, matured state of you today. And what does that vision look like now? And what does your principles and your standards and values look like now? And how does that play out in your day to day? Really capturing these leaders in the morning and the evening flow state when their spirit is most heightened and asking them the most profound questions that they don't get asked during the day so it can begin to awaken that soul, moving them from that
Mhm.
goal setting to soul setting type of work. So that when they get to that point, you're like, you know what? I need help. I scored here in this area of legacy. I scored low, or in this area of wealth. There's another stream of income. I got to get outside this W 2. That's right. This W 2 can't be my only income. This isn't safe, especially in the society that we live today.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
uncertainty is beyond what we've ever experienced in history. So W-2 income alone, not happening. So
Mhm.
what do I need to do? Who do I need to connect with? And being able to be a part of a ecosystem that's already vetted these entrepreneurs that are safe places that love people over profits that will be able to hold you by the hand and guide you in the way you need in the time that you have. And so it's like a bridge. It's a bridge, because we can always say, "Hey, you need more than W-2 income." That's easy for you to say, but, like you said, who wants to admit that they don't even know where to start, you
Right.
know?
And where do you go? And there are a million choices to make as an
Oh
entrepreneur.
my god,
As you know,
yes.
there's a lot out there. So if you wanna figure it out,
Yeah.
uh, in a shorter time span than 15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really, really wonderful that you can support folks that way.
yeah,
I
absolutely, and
love
it's
that.
and it's wonderful that I can connect with people like you who do the deeper work, because I no longer do that deep work. I now work with the implementation, the everyday of it, and the speaking. So it's really awesome to connect with entrepreneurs like yourself who are so devoted to the deep work because I am a big advocate of that work. And hence I did it for 16 years. I know that it requires like coaching. Look at professional athletes. Like we want to play big, we want to
Yeah.
have big results, but we don't want to invest and live and lead our lives like the professionals do,
Yeah.
the type of intensity and not in like a serious drudgery intensity, but in a very,
No.
you know what I mean? Like consistent, focused way, you know?
Appreciate you saying that. How did you know you needed to find that support?
That is a
If you
great
meant that
question.
you did.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I always listen to my body and how I feel and my outcomes, you know? So it's like this check-in with myself and like, what's that feeling? How do you feel? Or maybe someone says that. Do you feel like you should be further along? Why is that? Why do you feel that way? What are you needing more support? What do you feel like you need to make you feel like you've all these it's questions, Jill. This is what I found. It's the questions that
Love that. You
lead
are in the minority of
yeah.
people that listen. Yeah. You
Yeah.
really are. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think people don't even know to listen. This conversation is giving people permission to listen. So
Mm.
that is
Absolutely.
beautiful that you knew that. Although I love that you said 16 years and I keep saying 15 years. So everybody can know there's no rush. It takes a while to figure this stuff out,
Oh my god.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's it's figuring out, right? It's like this it's the student of life. And that's the part that I love. I love the day-to-day implementation, the resetting, like that type of stuff because all of it is a growth moment to me. And,
I say exactly the same thing. I just put
yeah,
it in terms of like a personal evolution. Like with
yeah.
every company I've started, with every success, every failure, I become a better version of myself.
And this makes so much sense of why we had so much chemistry when we first met, like energetically, because
Yeah.
people always talk about my energy. And I'm starting to see this pattern that it could be the mindset. Because can you imagine the average person not being able to pivot so quickly? That resilience keeps you
Oh, yeah.
light.
There's a resilience piece you either have or you earn
Yeah.
because you have had to do it. But
Right.
yeah, I'm with you. And I think those of us that recognize, I think you took a lot less time than I did. But once I recognized, oh, this isn't about the product or the service or the job that I'm in. This is about me and who I am and who I want to be in the world and how I want to present and who I want to be at a later date.
Yeah.
Then it sort of opens everything up and you go, huh, this changes how I'm going to run things. This changes how I'm going to think about it, all for the better. And I think
Absolutely.
those that don't pay attention to this are the resistors who say that I can do it by myself and I don't need any advice. And
Yeah.
then they never get anywhere
Yeah, you
at all.
have to be committed to the growth. I think that that is so true. The posture has to be there. Therapy is so big. That's coming up ringing really loud for me right now. I got so much business advice in therapy because I am literally finding out about myself.
What
You
is the
know what I
name
mean?
of your therapist?
It wasn't intentional. It was just like the more breakthroughs I got personally, I was able
For
to see how
sure.
they were showing
For
up in
sure.
my business.
Because
So it
you
was,
are your biz and your biz is you.
you
And
know?
I totally bought into that idea that I really hope is eradicated in 2026. But I thought business is business and personal is personal, and you never combine the two, and there's
Right. No,
neither the
recognize
twain
that
shall
thing.
never meet.
Mm.
And it's all BS.
That's
It's
right.
just
That.
so much you and your business.
Absolutely. It's
Wherever you are, if you run your own thing, if you're in
yeah,
corporate,
yeah, it's a
you are
reflection.
your work. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love that so much. And I'll say this is the one big epiphany for all the parent leaders who are listening, and then I would love for you to share your one big message that you want to leave with us today. But I remember a defining moment for myself, and you mentioned you were a parent as well, so I would love to hear your defining moment where it catapulted me into the work that I do now. And this is like the power of the great deception. I literally was so inundated with the messages of the world about where I was supposed to be and what type of mom that, what moms are supposed to be doing and all of these supposed to be's, right? I had literally convinced myself that I was just not far along enough and that my business just was not, I had been in business for too long for it not to reap the harvest that I thought that it should have reaped by this point, right? And so I'm just getting this out in a place, and my therapist, he didn't get he let me hold that space with no judgment. And that's why I do it so well for others, because that alone was a catalyst. Because I just didn't allow myself to feel judged. It was like, okay, this is my truth. Let me sit in this. And then this question came in like, where are you putting your time? Because what you're sowing in is where your impact is. The whole time I've been talking to you, you've been talking about your family, your husband, your kids, and so you're sowing here and family and kids, but you're looking here for this profitable outcome. And I was like, wow, like because your gifts make room for you, right? So obviously, and I'm thinking about the compliments that people give me about me as a mom and a wife and the relationships that I have with my kids. And I'm like, this is interesting. It's the thing we don't realize it's our sweet spot, our gift. And I'm like, how do I make this that I'm doing so naturally become profit? Hence what I'm doing with parent leadership and peace driven leadership is that I literally took all of those concepts for years and years that I was doing, thinking that there was no results, not knowing that I was being rooted. I was being rooted, and that's why it was looking like there was no real outcome, but the impact was happening in the conversations that I had with my kids. And the fact that I have a teenager who really likes me and wants to be, with me and spend time with me, who's not making poor decisions constantly. You know what I mean? Like I'm understanding like that was the blessing. And and now that I look at it, I look at the conversations I have with clients differently because they go out there and they build these business and they give it all they have for the legacy, but they do it on the backs of their family and their self-care. And they look back and yes, they make the 6, 7, 8 figures. Yes, they get the promotions and they hit all these things. But at what cost? You know? And so it helped me to realize like, man, I was trying to chase something that I really didn't want. My soul didn't want. You know? And so that's what I'm talking about, really leaning into the feeling in the body, like how you did. Like, I don't like the way this feels. Bump the spreadsheets and the numbers and the all the business plan. I just don't like something's off. Something's off. And that's how I was able to truly integrate the two worlds. And it's so pleasurable because I'm leaving memories. I'm capturing pictures, moments with my kids and my husband, stuff that I want to do anyway, that people literally are getting value from. So it feels
Yes.
aligned. What was your defining moment for alignment? What was that for you?
I've worked with parent entrepreneurs for maybe 15 years now, and what you just said was the most beautiful way of explaining that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really impressive. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing all of that.
Thank you for listening.
Can you ask me the question again? What did you ask me?
You're so funny. But, like, your defining moment, like, that was mine, where it was just like, "Dang," you
Don't
know?
know if mine was a moment. It was a collection of moments. There was so much mom guilt
Mm,
about doing the biz and having the babies, doing the biz and having the babies.
mm.
And I part of the reason I started
The mo
meetup
Mhm.
that ended up being a whole company was because the guilt pulled at me.
Mm.
And I think when I started to include my kids in the business, so
There
I
you
would
go.
like
Getting
mom
them.
has to work. Here's a pile of paper.
Yeah,
Can you go color this? I need it for my job. Or I would give them a stapler. Can you go staple these things? I really need it for
yeah,
my work. Like I would pretend
yeah.
that what they were doing was really
Oh
important.
no, see, you're
Uh,
good. I would actually have shred these papers. No, you can go open
yeah,
this mail.
yeah.
I needed
But
to.
but I would make sure they knew that, like, I
Yeah,
enjoy
you're
this.
helping.
You can come in with me. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna keep it separate.
yeah,
And then I brought my daughter to work when she was 5. I worked in a co-working space,
yeah.
and I brought her with me because she was sick for the day, and she ended up writing, maybe she was 6. She ended up writing
Yes.
a short story about how a lady showed up to her co-working space and had no friends because we were just sitting by ourselves. So
Wow.
she sort of it opened my eyes up to, oh, they notice everything.
Yeah, oh, yes.
And I need to be the best version of me, and the
Yeah.
best version of me is a working mama who loves what she does and who
Yeah.
talks about it with them. So I think that story where she essentially made fun of me was was the turning point where I thought like, okay, she's paying attention. Let's keep doing this. So honestly, years later, the company I ran was called The Founding Moms.
Mm.
I started a Founding Kids newsletter that my kiddos then wrote.
Oh.
Uh, and I don't know if they're going to be entrepreneurs when they're done schooling, but they're very entrepreneurial kids now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They
Yeah.
usually do. They
In every
usually
way.
go take off of what they model. That was the one my
Totally.
parents gave me. So,
Yes.
yeah, I
Oh,
love
lucky
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I
So
know.
I don't it was like a bunch of lots of little moments, but I really
Yeah.
did never care what other folks thought about me trying to do the work and the babies. Like there was
Now that is
a lot of
special.
judgment.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of judgment
special.
involved.
That's very
Yeah.
special for you not to
Yeah.
care. Man, that's awesome.
Ye it was helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was for me just and this my parents, I'm about to say my mom, I cared a lot about what she thought. Not so much everyone, but I had that complex where,
Yeah.
and many of you all maybe can relate to that when your parents have such a strong influence that you are thinking, you're measuring how they show up as a mom to how you show it up, are showing up. All of those things, that's why I talk about PSV so much, Jill, because when you get grounded on that, you're not moved. You are truly, you just alleviate so many distractions and
Yeah.
get so
Yeah.
much energy back from just thinking about people and what they're thinking about as they think about what other people are thinking about them. you know?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But thank
Yeah.
you so much again for coming in the
Oh,
lounge.
thank you for having this conversation with me. It was
I
awesome.
love it. I
Awesome.
love it so much anytime I get
Yeah.
opportunity to be in your space. Now, if you had to leave one message with the people on
Mm.
that day, what would it be? Is it theatrical enough?
I just love that there's music accompanying this. Uh, I think my message is your message, but the way I would say it very simply is slow yourself down as often as you can.
Mm,
Because we live in a culture that doesn't let you not
mm,
do that. Everybody's fast, fast, moving, social, and it's too much, and it's
yeah,
not productive, and
yeah,
it's a way to find the clarity that you really do want,
yeah,
even if right now you don't realize you do.
yeah.
So I love to make sure all my clients know if we slow things down, there's a whole world of possibility out there that
Mm.
you can now see because there's more clarity and there's more space
Oh, I
to
love
have the
that.
clarity. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you heard it
Yeah.
from Jill, you all. Couldn't have said it any better. There you have it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Slow things down. As I say often, it's not about how much you carry, it's about how well you carry it. And when you slow things down, you get clarity. And when you have clarity, right, that's when you can move with intention. And so that's where all the magic happens. Yeah. So thank
Oh,
you so much. And thank you all
thank
for
you.
listening. This
Yes,
truly
thank you
has
too.
been a honor and it's been fun.
Oh, awesome.
Listen to this again. There were so many nuggets in this podcast. I know it ran a little longer than I usually do, but it was just because it was just so many transformative nuggets in this conversation. So go back
Juicy.
and listen and look at it from a different frame. Look at it from a mom, look at it from a leader, a corporate leader, look at it from an entrepreneur. Like listen to it from the lens that's speaking really loud to your spirit right now. And as I close, I just want to say to you, want to remind you that peace driven leadership is not something you find, it's something you create. And this here now is your moment to create it. Until the next episode, bye bye for now.